Sales coach with Darling Coaching. Oh my goodness gracious, I see there are already people who are providing comments. That's absolutely crazy. Welcome to my show tonight, and you're probably here because you know I've got the famous Dr. Erin Oksol that's going to be our special guest tonight, and she's going to be talking with us about how your business needs a vision and a mission. And now I need to tell you that I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. The great news is being on this live broadcast is I can, use a lot of makeup and some lip gloss, and I've got great lighting, so I don't look sick, but my brain is kind of foggy. So Erin's already aware of that, and she's going to make sure that, she helps me hold the show this evening. Right, Erin?
Right. I said you making it look good, friend.
Yeah.
I know you don't feel well.
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit tired, but after this, there's a break coming, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I love this Facebook Live show, so it's the most exciting part of my day right now. I love it, so I'm happy to be here. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Erin Oksol. She is a clinical psychologist and a business success coach. She's the founder of the Psychology of Mission with Dr. Erin and helps business owners find their mission, which is super duper important, get on mission and stay on mission. So get on it and stay on it. She loves combining the science of behavioral psychology and peak performance with coaching and helping people take their business to the next level. She believes you can do what you love and love what you earn. We like that idea. At the same time, in addition to being a business coach, she's a professional speaker and published author. She's a regular columnist, the word that's on my paper I do not want to read, the regular columnist in a lifestyle magazine for female entrepreneurs in Northern Nevada and California. Erin and her husband, Garth, live in Reno, Nevada with the 3 children, Grace, Emily, and Zachary. So welcome to the show, Dr. Erin.
Oh, Jennifer, darling, thank you so much for having me. We met a couple of weeks ago, and I instantly had to I couldn't help my body. It had to run across the room and embrace you in this big hug as if I always knew you. So I'm just so excited to partner with you. And this woman at the meeting said it was cosmic Velcro. I'm like, that's kind of what it felt like, Velcro. I was sticking to you.
I know. I didn't want to let go.
Little bit.
I loved it. Well, one of the things in your bio that just struck me right now is when I said that you like to help owners find their mission, get on mission, and stay on mission. I mean, just that phrase really describes you because you are a woman on a mission, but you also take massive action too. You're like, it's not like, oh, here's the mission out here and someday I'm going to get there. It's like, here it is, get on it and stay on it. I love that. So tell us a little bit about what you do and tell us about your business.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I am a success coach for business owners and entrepreneurs and even people that might want to be leaving their 9-to-5 and become an entrepreneur or their own boss. And I help people who really want to take their business to the next level, like just catapult it to the next level of success. They're people that they just know they're right on the cusp of that greatness that they know is in them, but they have, for some reason, not quite been able to attain yet in their life. And it's almost so close they could feel it and taste it and see it. And they just need some sort of obstacle removed or plan or strategy or mindset that really takes their business to the next level. And to be honest, when you improve your mindset, you will improve your bottom line. It's just what's going to happen. And so at the end of the day, I want my clients to be massively successful, but more importantly, in love with their life and their business. Just having a blast doing what they know they're supposed to be doing, working smarter, not harder, working with ease. Now that doesn't mean, not working hard, but working from a place of, like you said, being on mission and knowing that you are on mission, and amazing things can happen when you do that. So I have a group coaching program that business owners are in, and I also do intensive one-on-one VIP individual coaching. And like you said, I love speaking in front of groups. I didn't used to be like to be a public speaker, but I love it, which is bizarre. I love it. And I love helping corporations also really get on mission. So for example, I worked with an accounting firm in January, and we really are looking at how to increase their productivity and get on mission. And we are probably going to earn them over $1 million this year. Wow. Just by helping them really just focus and, for example, not check your email all day long. And I mean, it's simple things like this, but it matters. And we can, see massive success in our businesses when we apply some of these strategies. So.
Well, I love the combination between psychologist and behavior and business coaching, because, typically these aren't really going together. Your psychologist is taking people in the room, working out all their problems and really focusing on their person, and not as much on their business. So how do you think that makes you unique and different?
And I never thought for myself really until a couple of years ago when I really started to change myself personally. And I like to joke that I got another PhD in personal growth and development. Like, I think I read enough groups and studied it enough and hired my own coaches and just became obsessed with learning what the successful people in this world do. Because, the great professional development guru, Jim Rohn, he says, success leaves clues. And I am a consummate learner. I mean, I was in school most of my adult life. I love to learn. And so I really, really studied success and peak performers and people that are out on that skinny edge of the bell curve and the 5%ers, the people that really want to step into that. And so it just became evident through that journey, like, this is what I do. This is my expertise, is understanding and helping people change. And why wouldn't I want to help? And I started my own couple businesses in those couple years and just realized we really have some really great nuggets that I could offer to my business owners and entrepreneurs. And I also fell in love with being an entrepreneur, which I was a big scaredy cat years ago. I mean, I was scared to even go into private practice in psychology, and life kind of forced me into that. Thank God. I had a really horrible job that I hated, and it just forced me into it. And thank God, because I probably wouldn't have taken the leap. But I know now how successful ones, and it's a much different mindset than a typical employee. And it takes some psychological hardiness, so to speak. It takes some tenacity. But I think also I know human beings and I've studied them, and often we know what to do. It's not that we don't know what to do. It's doing what we know that becomes the problem. And so it's how do you, and that's where I apply my psychology background, is I apply the theories of motivational change. And how do you get us human beings to do the things that we know we really want to do, but we're not doing it? And sometimes it's a mindset piece. I mean, they say businesses are won or lost in the 6 inches between your ears. And it is. I mean, if you can have the best strategy in the world, you can have investors investing in your business. If you do not think you're, worthy of it, if you do not think that if you can't say fear, just come with me, we're going to do this anyways. Like, if you don't have those strategies for your mindset, your business could suffer. So I love pairing psychology with my coaching that way.
Yeah, well, and you are really coming into full bloom, because like you said, many years ago you weren't speaking, and now you're speaking and you're loving it. Many years ago you weren't doing this other thing, and now you're doing it and you're loving it. So you are really a product of your own success, which is reaching out, doing things that are uncomfortable, and then finding that in that uncomfortability, you found things that you have really loved to do, and you're so glad you're doing them. And I love that about you. It's so amazing. I want to real quick welcome a few people. We've got several people watching us live right now, and I see Andrea Merlino. Hi, Andrea. She says, hello, ladies. I'm going to put her little picture with her man.
That's so cute.
There. Isn't that cute? And I want to let everybody on here know, please go and type in the comments right now because Erin will answer questions. So if you have any questions about our conversation today, please just put it in the comments and I'll read it out to Erin and she will be happy to answer as best she can. And then Lacey, hi Lacey. Lacey, are you still in San Diego? Lacey just signed on with her new baby.
Oh, look at that cute baby.
Yeah, do you know Lacey?
No.
Oh, Lacey is an Arbonne independent consultant. That's how I know Lacey, as is Andrea. So look, we've got a couple Arbonne ladies here, and you'll be proud of me, ladies. I'm drinking my fizz stick right now. I had a little low energy. Oh, look at, so here we go. Here's a little Arbonne promo for you. Dr. Erin and I both have our fizzies. And Lacey says, yeah, she is in San Diego. Awesome. Okay, so Erin, I'm going to move on a little bit here. So you believe in the power of helping business owners and entrepreneurs really find their mission. Why do you believe that having this clear vision is is really that important to making sure you're successful in your business?
Well, I think I discovered that, there's this saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And that's really true in business. It's true in life. It's, and a couple of years ago, I did this major overhaul on my physical health and I transformed my body and it took a year. I ended up on stage in a string bikini, for God's sake. I don't even know how that happened to me, but it did. And, 40 years old. And I learned a lot through that process of having a clear mission and the importance of that. And when if you have a vision for your business and you get real specific about that, the brain is going to know how to better equip you to make that happen, to ask for help from people. So, you would never get in the car and say, I want to head out, east to New York City and just be like, good luck, let's go east. You're going to plug in your GPS very specifically where you want to go to make sure you don't get off track. The same is true in your business. And so I love coaching my clients to really specify, what do you want? What's your ideal day look like? What are you doing? What kind of clothes are you wearing? What kind of food are you eating? When do you wake up? How much money do you want in your bank account and why? And so we go through what's called an ideal budget, for example. And we really, people's eyes open up because they realize they have a very specific number and goal. And then we can reverse, engineer that business plan to meeting that goal. And, I hear a lot of people, specifically like in the coaching industry, say, I'm a 6-figure coach. And it's like, well, where did this number come from? Is that your number? Is 100 grand your number? Maybe your number is 40 grand. Maybe it's 300 grand. Like, I'm more interested, and I think that's where my psychology background comes in, on the individual needs of the individual person, right? And so we get real specific about where we're going. Now, when you have a mission, it then becomes much easier to say yes to things that serve the mission, to learn how to say no to things that don't serve the mission. This is my year to really dig into my business. So I am not on the PTA, and I'm not volunteering for a lot of, groups right now. I know it's a phase, there's a rhythm I'm in, but it makes it just crystal clear to me what I'm saying yes to. My husband's on board. When you know where you're going, it increases your chances of getting there. Now, we know the science of the brain, and the brain loves to know specifically what it's looking for. So I always say, I remember when I was pregnant with my first daughter, and was like, where did all these pregnant people come from? Like, they're just popping up all over the place. Well, they were always there, but my brain was focused on them, and then we got a house, and, all the things that go into looking for a new house popped up, and then we were landscaping, and then we were looking for a car, and all these cars showed up, and then we were looking for a dog, and your brain loves specificity, and it doesn't know if it's telling you the truth or not, so you better be very specific and intentional about what you tell it you want.
Wow, that's so interesting. That's a very interesting concept, especially because I think that I hear a lot of people, especially, excuse me, I tried to hold that, didn't work. especially women entrepreneurs, they have a lot of limiting beliefs. And I feel like I hear this all the time, but it's so true. And there are so many of them. It's like why I can't do something and why I can't do something. And even, when you're talking about dieting, what I can't eat and what I can't do. And those things seem to pop out of everywhere instead of really focusing on, what you can do. And noticing the opportunities that come into view, like you described with the house and the babies and whatever, all those opportunities that come into view and what's right and what's wrong for you and how you can say yes and no. I've had a start to the year of a lot of no's because I am typically a person who says yes to everything. I mean, that's just been my whole life, but I am so busy now. I can't say yes to everything because that means I'm not saying yes to me as well. So that's been that's a tough thing to learn. And it's great to have somebody like you who can actually break through and talk about the science behind it and why it really is important. And it's not just in your head. It's actually, that's how your brain works.
Absolutely. And, I always say when you say yes to something, you say no to something else. And just being okay with that and realizing, okay, if I'm going to say yes to that, I'm going to shift this over here. And maybe for the next 6 months in my business, I'm going to focus on this one thing. And it means I'm not going to be focusing on something else. But you know what? We've got a plan, we've got a strategy, but I can't do it all in the same day.
Right. Well, Cheryl Knight just popped on, and Cheryl says the secret, what you focus on, you draw to you, right? So that's perfect.
Talking about the book, The Secret, and the law of attraction. And what's so cool is we've got science to back up that the law of attraction really works. Mm. It really works.
Awesome. So listen, you've been a clinical psychologist for a very long time. I won't even say the years because you don't look like you would have to start when you're like, 5 or whatever, but you've been a clinical psychologist for a long time. How do you think that you use your expertise in psychology to help business owners? And you talked about it somewhat already, but is there anything else you want to add on to that?
I think the biggest piece is basically psychologists and coaches, we are problem solvers. Like we have a client that is at one place, point A, and wants to get to point B. And, my whole strategy is let's use research-based techniques that we know work and declare where you're going, figure out how to get there. So we talk a lot about productivity and ways to decrease that feeling of being busy and increase productivity, because no one wants to get to the end of the day saying, I don't know really what I got done, but I was really busy. And I did
that a lot in my corporate job.
Yeah.
So busy, and I'm wiped out, but I have no idea what I accomplished today.
Right. That's not everyone's goal, when they wake up in the morning. And so, but I will say, we can know where we're going, we can know why we want to get there. But again, if we have some negative thought patterns, some training, our negative thought patterns are just learned. So if we know a technique to unlearn them, then we can just set ourselves free to take things to the next level. And of course, where my expertise comes in terms of, and even things like the psychology behind affirmations, there's some science of there's a right way to do those and there is a not so effective way to do those. And, if you're telling your brain this story, like I am a multi-millionaire, like that's not going to be as effective as I am open to receive financial abundance and I'm going to go looking for it today. I mean, they're very different, right? And your brain knows the believability factor of it. and
right. So your brain's going like, you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow? Yeah, that's not possible. But to go...
Or even you are a millionaire right now. Like that's not an effective way to use. And so I love teaching my clients how to apply it in the right way, and they get results really fast because I've been studying this for a long time. So
now, like I said before, you've been a psychologist for a long time, and you've been an entrepreneur not for a 15
5 years, yeah.
Right? And you have had massive success in a very short period of time. Well, I consider it a short period of time. I think 5 years to have the success where you're at right now is really amazing. So what do you think are some of the factors that have contributed to that you might share with the audience that, they might be able to take advantage of too?
Oh, honey, you kind of broke out. What was the question? I heard the setup of it.
It's probably, all my friends are putting on Facebook, it's some retrograde stuff, and it's messing up my computer.
Oh, right.
So that's probably what it is, right? Well, my question was, you've been successful in your psychology business for a long time, and you've been a new entrepreneur for the last 5 years. You've been massively successful in a short amount of time. What are some of your factors involved? What are some of your secrets to how you got so successful so quickly?
Ooh, I have lots of goodies to give you. I have lots of goodies. One thing that I think is my superpower and can be your superpower too, and is necessary when you're an entrepreneur, is the skill of connecting with people. And I, have been trained to be a really good listener. And so very sick are always thinking about how can they add value to people, not what can they get out of it. So, and they're listening for other people to tell them how it is you can help them. And when you are focused on helping somebody, it's just naturally going to be unstoppable. Okay. Another thing that really is a strength that I've learned. I mean, I came to this success, let's be clear, from like 15 years of jobs I hated, working over way too many hours. I mean, this is, a finally kind of an alignment thing that's happening for me, but really focused activity. I'm pretty good at disciplining myself of kind of reining it in. And successful people, they tend to do this habit where either the night before they go to bed or when they get up in the morning, they have 3 to 6 things they do. And they got, like, I'm always on purpose. Not always on purpose, but I try to be on purpose. Mm-hmm. And so, again, that helps me not to feel busy. It helps me feel on purpose and productive. What I also learned was to get really specific about what I do and who I serve. And that was really hard for me at the beginning because I am a helper and I want to help and save the whole universe. If I could, please just. Right. And really honing in on who my ideal client was makes it much easier for them to find me because it's just so specific. Right. And, I remember many years in advertising, and I would meet people and I would say, well, who's your target? And the thing that they would say was, well, anybody could buy my product or service. But the thing is, from a marketing standpoint, even, so I think from a messaging standpoint, right on. And from a marketing standpoint, it's like, but you don't have the money to reach all of those million people in the world. And if you do, then you're probably going to confuse a lot of people because they won't know if you're this or you're that or you're this or who you're talking to, who you're trying to be, what are you trying to do. So I think that's a very, very smart piece of advice, is just knowing, knowing who is that you serve. And I think you're very clear about that. Corporate people, entrepreneurs, and future entrepreneurs. Yeah, it was really hard for me to rein it in. Because, and then fear creeps in. Well, I'm going to miss all these people. And fear takes over, or at least it did in my brain. Mm-hmm. Well, because when I was starting, you don't have a client. You don't have a clientele. And you're just wondering if anyone's ever going to. Everybody. Ever hire you to do anything. So you don't want it. You don't want to, exclude anybody. But that has really been an interesting piece of feedback I've gotten. And then the last piece I think that, anyone can do is really understand the power of what's called the slight edge. There's a book about it. It's an amazing book. And it's really the power of a little bit every day goes a long way. Okay. And I want you to really think about, in your business, if you have a strategy, and you do a little bit every day, just know and trust that it will have an additive, compounded effect. So when I do a post on Facebook, I actually congratulate myself and say, look at me growing my business. Okay, I don't get a client right then and there. Right. I don't immediately get a PayPal notice that I just made money. But I know what I know about a little bit every day adds up. And so I just want you to, I want people to lean into trusting that and knowing that Rome wasn't built in a day. When I started, it was very overwhelming, because you look at the end result of someone having a successful business, and that fear right there can stop you. And so, one, take fear along with you. Say, come along, we're going to go build this business. You're annoying, but come with me. And two, I'm going to do a little bit every day. And maybe in a 90-day cycle, there's some research that there's something magical about 90 days. So commit to 90 days. I learned that when I was getting ready for my fitness competition. I was crying at the barbell machine. I was telling my trainer, I'm never going to be ready. And she said, it's so impactful. She's like, could you just work out for the next 40 minutes? And I was like, yeah, I can. And then maybe you could come back tomorrow and do it again. I'm like, yeah, I can. And you know what? It adds up. It adds up to the mountaintop experience. It adds up to the successful business. So trust the small steps over time.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing glamorous or sexy about the small steps. Right. But trust them.
And we see people in their height. We don't actually see the mountain that they've been climbing. I'm reading the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell right now, and it's the same thing. It's like you can look at Bill Gates, you can look at any of these people, and it's taken them time to get there where they were. And oftentimes it was also they were in the right place at the right times too. There was so much to that. It's like, but you see very successful people and you think, I want to be that tomorrow. And there was a whole lot of other stuff to get there. And you can be that. You just have to work at it. So I appreciate you telling everybody that. And that's a great tip. Thank you. Well, we are just about out of time. And I want to thank you, Dr. Erin, for being my special guest today. Before I wrap it up, I want to see if there's anything else that you want to add. How can people find you? I want to be able to make sure we put a link for you in the comments to find you. You've got any speaking stuff coming up? What's going on? How can people get a little bit more?
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Jennifer. I will be speaking next week in Carson City to professional saleswomen of Nevada. And then in the end of middle May, there is an awards function for all of the saleswomen of Nevada, and they award the top saleswoman, and they asked me to be their keynote speaker. So That is so exciting. I'll be doing another group coaching program starting up June. So it's about, it's a little bit away, but check out my website. We'll drop that in the comments below, and I'll just see you out here on the Facebook land.
Awesome. Okay, so when I close the show tonight, I'm going to put a link to Dr. Erin's Facebook page and Dr. Erin's website in the comments, so you both can go and find her at either one of those places. She's got so much amazing knowledge, and she's a really great coach, and I'd love for you to connect with her, so go find her there. And I'm going to talk to you right now about tomorrow's guest, because tomorrow we have Jennifer Goldsmith. She's a graduate of Santa Clara University School of Law, and she opened her law practice about 5 years ago, serving small business owners and entrepreneurs for both their personal and their professional estate planning. So she's going to come on tomorrow, and she's going to talk about business law and some things you need to know operating your business. So it's awesome to have a legal person. We had a financial person. We have a psychologist. We've got the brain lady yesterday. So we've had a lot of awesome resources for all of you. I'm so thankful that you are tuning in to Positively Successful Sales. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, Dr. Erin, for joining us today. I look forward to the next time we speak, which I think is like next week. So that makes my life happy. Thank you for being an awesome guest.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody.